After yesterday's rather chaotic day and a rather confusing video, I'm hoping that today I can actually get something proper done. So, let's start. The plan is, as you may well know, to make this area here suitable for doing some paint work. And that's why last week I went and bought some gear to make this possible. In theory, I have everything I need, with the exception of the space to do it in. So, this car, Auntie Sophie, I'm sorry Auntie Sophie, but you are going out of the lockup. The main problem here with this car is obviously that it doesn't start, and it's incredibly wet in there, and the sunroof won't close. I can't find the correct tool to actually close that sunroof manually. Right, turns out that it's not the tool that's the problem. It's the fact that the thing inside to turn it with is broken. That means now the only option, as a temporary measure, is to gaffer tape the hole in the sunroof. It doesn't matter about that, you know, there'll be bits left there, but that'll just go down the drain, so that doesn't matter. It is a temporary measure. It's not really how I think things should be fixed, but I just want to get something moving. I want to get this car out. I do feel like I'm constantly plagued by one job being in the way of another, you know, because let's have a look at this now. I can't just wheel a car in there. This has to come out. The place has to be dusted. I need some sort of sheets put down so that there isn't dust absolutely everywhere. And then I can start to think about how I can do some work on desperate Doris. Every single car in this yard that's either mine or not mine or shared needs some sort of work. Space, inside, space, one job being in front of another is always going to be it. Let's have a look at the cars I am committed to doing work on, paint-wise, are Doris here, although, well, Allegro Man has actually a door for this, which would save me having to paint it. And I also believe he has a door for the other side as well, which would save me having to paint that. And I believe he's also got a wing, which would save me having to repair this. That means potentially I've got a whole load of paint that now I don't need. So I'm going to have to find some panels to spray green to at least get some practice in. But there's more. Fred the Shed. Fred the Shed's going to have all sorts of paint work done on this one, I reckon. Yes, in fact, if there's one car I'm really looking forward to working on, it is actually this one. But what I think I really need to do is undo the subframe taking off jobby I did with this, so it can be wheeled out of the yard, because this is just in the way now and it stops anything from going in there. Anyway, all that British racing green paint that I don't really need any longer. Well, guess what? I've got Toby Charles. That still needs work. But also, guess what? It's the wrong shade of British racing green. Off on a bit of a tangent there, because what I need to do is obviously get Auntie Sophie out. Get out, Auntie Sophie! Get out, Auntie Sophie! You're no longer welcome here! Alright. There is another slight problem here today. It's rather windy. It was just a second ago, it was incredibly gusty, and now it's all gone. I don't think it's going to be gone permanently. No. I would like to explain why that little bit of piano playing was relevant to this video, but I can't, because it isn't. I fear, for the moment, Auntie Sophie is going to end up back where it started before it was temporarily fixed. Gradually just moving a few things around. If I can just get this car outside and start sorting the shelves out over there, I'll need to clean it out first because there's no point in it going outside completely sopping wet. Then the car that will live in here will be Toby Charles because he needs somewhere safe and warm for the winter. Yes, he does, and he deserves it. He works. It might sound like a rather tiny achievement to aim for the day. Get a car out of the lockup. But there will be quite a bit more to it than that. So, you know, but I'm starting off with that so I don't end up with some sort of massive disappointment. I can guarantee I'll do a bit better than just that. I may as well drag this out to start with, though. At least bring it here so it's a better place to start using the old wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Oh, here he is, Tom Turbo. Whoa! That wasn't nice. Now, in order to make a start to tidy one area up, one must mess up somewhere else. I have, of course, done what everybody would do when they've got a car in the lockup. And that is to temporarily cover it in stuff. But most of the stuff has now gone over here, where it doesn't belong either. As previously stated, tidying up in the lockup means moving stuff that doesn't belong in its particular place to somewhere else that it doesn't belong. And then moving it from that place it doesn't belong to somewhere it equally doesn't really belong. Yeah, it's, you know the dog that chases its tail? Well, all dogs, you know, dogs chase their tail, don't they? I mean, what are they trying to achieve? They're trying to achieve exactly what I'm trying to achieve. All it takes is just a couple of minutes, and the car is almost clear enough to be pulled out, and the exit clear as well. And as you can see, we need a jolly good sweep up in here. Autumn has this habit of just letting itself inside. Another great moment about to happen, and that is the debuting of the work of, what's he called? That Fred car. Yeah, Fred the Shed. That's going to be perfect for tugging this out far enough so it can be used, isn't it, right? Oh. Little visit from Johnny Two Scoops. Another small job that isn't very exciting, completed. So unexciting, I'm not even going to tell you what it was. But now, at nearly 2 o'clock, it doesn't look like much has gone on here, but it has. And I do need to get something to eat. So, excuse me if the next bit of the video is me driving the car. Yes, this one. And where do you think I might be driving the car to, being as I am very, very hungry now? Would you like to have a guess? I had to put some air in the tyre. Auntie Sophie is a bit sort of backwards, really, the progress on that, thinking about it, because it's back where it started, in exactly the same place where it sat for a year, near enough. Is it going to sit for another year there? No. No, it definitely isn't. From anti-Sophie to anti-climax. Maybe I'll get it fixed soon and it'll stop giving me a headache, and then it'll be anti-inflammatory. My word, imagine that! One of today's earworms is a very well-known Shwaddy Waddy song. Why that's popped up, I've got no idea. But I'm not going to hum it. But if you want to, you can try and guess which one it is. Brief rundown for my challenge for the rest of the afternoon. I have this idea to organise the space up there a bit better. And it's an obvious one, really. I don't know why I haven't done it. But I've got a whole load of shelves. I can number each shelf. And then have effectively an inventory of parts or tools or things. And and just make a big list. And so everything, absolutely everything has a space. It doesn't matter how small that thing is. And then I can just look at the list of things and where they go, and it should be there. It does mean I've got to start all over again. But I am fed up of losing tools. God, what's happened down here? Oh, they don't do parking, but this is especially busy today. Can I fit in that? I could do if there wasn't somebody right behind me. That spot would have been better if it was used effectively. He's just going into that one. Will there be one around the corner? There is. Yes, excellent. Let's go for that one then. Dotted around, there's going to be about 5 or 6 spaces available, but most of them just choose to park on the double yellow lines. Hello, would you like to move forward? That's 3 cars that have just set off. Seriously, he's still waiting. What? What are you doing? Now, some people don't pay a great deal of attention whilst driving, and some appear to be not even awake. A question of distraction. Do I eat too many takeaways? Because some people will say I do. I mean, Boaty does. He thinks I have them every day, and I'm happy for him to believe that. The missus says I have them too often, and I say, no, I don't. I don't have them too often. You can only have too many when you've filled yourself up and you can't eat what you've got in your plastic dish there because you're full up. Then you've got too many. Hello and welcome to Rochdale's finest red light roundabout. A roundabout that has traffic lights on that appears to be phased in a rather unusual fashion. I think the purpose is to cause as much discomfort and anger for the motorists who use it as possible. Oh, right, I can go now. Yes. Will I get to this traffic light before it goes red? Yes, I did. You can't say the same for those on the right, though. Some points are worthwhile making over and over again, even if they are boring and even if you don't want to hear them again. But traffic lights have no place on a roundabout. In this town, traffic light jumping is rife and it causes many an accident. Whilst I would like to point my annoyance towards those traffic light jumpers, I can, to a degree, understand why they do it. And that's because they get frustrated by having to stop all the time. You know, they've got busy lives, some of these I am so hungry, I could eat a scabby horse. That's the phrase. Have you ever wondered why people say that? And have you ever wondered about the availability of such filling? Because try going into a chippy and saying, oh yes, yeah, I don't think any of this is going to fill me up. Have you got any scabby horses available? Oh, lunch by myself in the caravan. Just when you think it's gone dark, it hasn't. I'm just in the secret lockup room. And in here, we have something which will at some point be going into Nigel. Look at this, an old dash, the soft dash in rather tidy condition. But that's not what I've come in here to look for. I've come in here to look for the centre console of a Rover 75. And it just so happens I have one. But it's right down over there, which is a bit awkward. It also just happens to not have the bit inside that I actually want. Never mind. Okay, that is all of the shells labelled like so. You see, this is C9. Even these things have a label. That was G1. The fridge doesn't count. That's J2, etc. Down here, N3. all the way around. Everything is now labelled. That will be a good time to start populating the shelves. Don't want any empty shelves here, do we? Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to something a bit more focused. Let's make a start on Fred the Shed. Hello. It's now dark. I've been busy going from one video to another, from one job to another. But I thought I'd come back to this one just in case there's anything worthwhile finishing off as a complete video. There should be going on, I suppose. But let's have a look at this first. It's on the floor. Get yourself your wet and dry vacuum cleaner out. And this is here. The first car this is going to get used on will be a shed, which is a good thing. It was going to be, what's that other car called that was in here before? The one that was taking up all this space. Anti-aircraft missile? No. Anti-Sophie. It's a bongo drum as well. Oh dear. Obtain ear protection and safety glasses. Wear them at all times while operating the product. Wow. How noisy can it be? And how likely is it going to be to explode in your face? While operating the product, always wear substantial footwear and long trousers. Do not operate the product when barefoot or wearing open sandals. Interesting. Never operate the product while people, especially children or pets, are nearby. Especially. But it just says, never operate the product while people are nearby. Oh, to prevent dust irritation, wearing a mask of the face is recommended. Time to bring a car back in here. Now, Toby Charles is going to go and live indoors. About time, I'm sure you'll agree. Shouldn't be out here, should he? Poor old thing. Much better. Oh yes. Much happier having this in here than ungrateful Auntie Sophie. And there's more room as well, as you can see. There's room around the front. There's room around the back because it's not a stupidly long car. When I first got this car, I was too afraid to leave it outside. And then I ended up with kind of a no-choice situation, and I kind of got used to it. But it belongs in here. It belongs inside, don't you think? I actually feel quite happy now. I would like to finish this video off by saying thank you for watching it this far, and thank you for liking this video, because I'm sure you have done. And thank you for subscribing to my channel, either now or when you did it before. I thank you for that very much. And thank you very much for becoming a channel member. That means an awful lot to me. Whoever you are, thank you. That's 3 thank yous so far. If you need any more thank yous, I will happily oblige. Thank you is important. Showing appreciation, important. Watching the video right the way to the end, important. Yes. Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever it is you may get up to, and I'll see you in the next one.